Ahoy, this is Zdenka. What are the best camera settings on the newly released Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra? Let's get to know your camera right here. This is in-depth tutorial. We will go through all settings and explain what they do so you can decide what settings are best for you to keep. Timestamps are enabled so you can find what you're looking for faster. The first thing we are going to do is download the Camera Assistant app. It's a free app that will show up in native camera app settings, and it will give you more features. This app is available in Galaxy Store, not in a Play Store. Now that we have the Camera Assistant app installed, let's go to Settings, Apps, and Camera. Let's hit the camera settings. From the top, we see intelligent features. Scan documents and text are on by default. And the same goes for scanning QR codes. Let's keep it this way, as those are very helpful. Shot suggestions are next. I have them turned off. It is supposed to guide you to what the camera thinks is the best shot, but most of the time, I just see that it places the subject right in the middle. It would be more beneficial if you enabled guides and learn how to use the rule of thirds instead. That will give you more creative shots. Let's hit Intelligent Optimization. That only affects photos, not video. By default, the quality optimization is set to maximum. I've taken a lot of photos with all three settings and also with the scene optimizer on and off. And I believe this will really depend on what look you like. I would highly suggest taking several photos with all these different settings and then choosing what look you prefer. When I had the quality optimization set to maximum, I found that the highlights were a bit too bright for my taste. I personally liked the minimum. I also prefer the scene optimizer off, as I like to edit my images myself. However, if you are not a photographer and you like contrasty photos and bright colors, keep the optimization to maximum and Scene Optimizer on, as that setting will make the colors pop. Dark scenes will look brighter and landscapes more vivid. If you find that the camera takes too much time to process the image, then you can speed up the camera by lowering it to medium or minimum settings. Let's go back and explore the next section, which is pictures. The first setting is Swipe Shutter Button 2. If you swipe down the shutter button and hold it, it will take a whole bunch of photos. This is perfect for sports photography and action photography. Once you go to Gallery, you have a choice of finding and keeping only the best shots. If you are someone who loves creating GIFs, you can enable that instead of burst shots. So now, when I swipe down and hold, it's going to create a GIF instead. Let's go back. If you need to have your photos with a watermark, you can enable it here. Let's hit Advanced Picture Options. Here you can enable high efficiency pictures. Instead of saving photos in JPEG, which is an older format, you can save space with this new format HEIF. Just keep in mind that some websites and apps don't support that format. For taking photos in Pro mode, you have the choice to choose if you want to save photos only in JPEG, RAW plus JPEG, or RAW only. RAW images don't have color tone adjustments, so this format is for those who want to adjust the photo later on in editing software, such as Adobe Lightroom. It will also give you higher quality, as these are not compressed photos, such as JPEG. But keep in mind that these photos are much larger, so it will take a lot of storage. Another new setting is Motion Photo Capture. You can choose if you want the motion to be captured before and after pressing the shutter, or before the shutter only. How does photo motion capture work? Let's open up the camera app. The motion photo icon is right here. Let's enable it and take a photo. Once you go to Gallery, the motion photo will let you save the photo as a boomerang or slow motion. You can also turn off motion photo altogether. Let's go back to camera settings and go to the next section, which is selfies. Save selfies as previewed is disabled by default, and I would always keep it that way. If you accidentally enable this and start mixing photos and videos taken with rear cameras, you will not get a consistent look because the background will be flipped, which is what you don't want. Swipe up or down to switch the cameras is on. Let's keep it there as it is faster. Let's go to video settings. Auto FPS, I personally keep off. If you find that the video is too dark in low light conditions, you can enable Auto FPS for 30 frames per second videos or for 30 and 60 frames per second videos. It will, however, automatically optimize the frame rate, so you might end up with a bit of a jittery footage. Video stabilization is on. Let's keep it that way. Let's hit Advanced Video Options. HEVC High Efficiency format is on by default. This format allows you to enable high bitrate videos that will give you better quality. Keep in mind though that these files will be bigger. If you like the HDR look, you can enable it here. The last option you can enable is log. What is log? It is a format that will record a wider dynamic range for more flexibility when editing. The video will look very flat and gray until the color is corrected in the post. It's super simple to do on the phone. I'll show you that shortly. When you enable log, you have the option to have this format available in Pro Video mode only or Video and Pro Video modes. I'm going to select both. Now, when I go to Video mode, I can see the new icon here. Just a side note that once you enable log, you are not going to be able to enable super steady on. So you might want to use a gimbal. I already have several clips filmed in log profile. So how do you correct the color? Very simply, go to your clip, swipe up, and hit the correct color, and then save the copy of the video. For those who prefer to edit the clips on a computer in video editing software, Samsung offers 2 LUTs on their website you can download, 1D LUT and 3D LUT. You will then just apply this LUT over the clip in the software you use. If you are a complete beginner when it comes to video and need help, I've got new update when it comes to my ZD Creator Academy and working with me directly. If you've never heard of ZD Creator Academy, listen up. It is a private online community where you will access the smartphone filmmaking course. It's a straight to the point, full course with quizzes and assignments that I review and provide feedback. Another course available is Secrets to Growing a Successful YouTube Channel. New lessons are added weekly. If you have questions and need help, you can send me a quick message through chat, or you can meet me on Zoom. I hold group tutoring sessions twice a week. You can always post links to your videos and YouTube channel for a review and access my LUTs and presets library, all in one place. The link to ZD Creator Academy is below for those interested. Let's return to advanced video settings. The audio section below allows you to enable zoom in mic or 360 audio recording, one or the other. You cannot enable both. Zoom in mic will make the audio louder the more you zoom in. I personally don't use that. 360 recording gives you a 3D sound if you are going to record sound through your Bluetooth headphones. Audio playback is another new setting. If you enable this, it will allow music and other audio to play while you are recording. Playback will pause when using a 3D audio recording or a Bluetooth microphone. Let's return to main camera settings and look at the general section. Tracking autofocus is off by default. What this feature does is that when you film someone with a rear camera, if the person moves, the camera will keep the focus on the person. The composition guide is very helpful. I would suggest enabling this. Nobody likes Cricket Horizon. You have the option to enable grid lines and level, or grid lines only or level only. Location tags are helpful as well. Tags will help you to see where the photos and videos were taken. Shooting methods are next. When you press the volume buttons, you can take pictures and record video. You can, however, change it to zoom in or out or control sound volume. There are 3 additional settings below: voice comments, floating shutter button, and show palm. I personally recommend having voice comments enabled and show palm enabled only if you are not going to use a gimbal, such as Hohem iSteady M7. Otherwise, you will be running into gesture issues if you will be using the AI sensor. As you will be enabling the tracking sensor, you will accidentally show the camera the same gesture for start and stop recording. It happened to me and it's very frustrating. The floating shutter button just gives you an extra button that you can move anywhere on the screen. Settings to keep is a big section. I enabled all of them because, for example, when you're filming, you get a phone call, you gotta close the camera app, and then you finish the phone call, you open up the camera app to continue filming. It's not going to reset to default. So you don't have to go through all the settings. Make sure that you have everything set the way you were using it before the phone call. It will keep all your last settings. Let's go back to the main settings. Vibration feedback I keep on. If you don't like the vibration, you can always turn it off. Camera Assistant is next. That's the app we installed from the Galaxy Store at the beginning of the video. It will give you additional settings. The first thing you will see are zoom shortcuts. Here you can enable extra 2 times, 10 times, and 100 times shortcuts. Once you do that and go back to the native camera app, you can see all these zoom shortcuts here. Auto HDR I left disabled. If you have that enabled, it will automatically capture HDR photos and videos. Most of the time, I want a consistent and more natural look, so that is the reason I have it off. Picture softening is a great feature. Smartphones create over-sharpened images, so to get a more natural look, similar to what traditional cameras give you, select a medium or high picture softening. I have it set to high. Again, this is really up to your taste. Take a few photos with these options and then zoom in on the computer to see what works for you. Auto lens switching is enabled here by default. What is it? When you point at something very close and then move to capture something in the distance, you can see that the camera switches automatically. It selects the best lens for the scene and light conditions automatically. This is quite helpful for those who know nothing about photography, and then at the end, if you want to switch the lens, you can still do it yourself anyways. Another setting is distortion correction. According to my tests, there is absolutely no difference between having this on or off. I'll keep it on if this gets updated in the future. Let's take a look at advanced resolution options. Adaptive Pixel is a great feature as it will reduce noise and grain in the photos taken in low light conditions. Upscale Digital Zoom is another great feature I have enabled. If you take a photo and zoom a lot on the object, you might end up with a lower resolution image. This will bring or upscale the image back to the resolution you selected. Quick tap shutter will allow you to take a photo as soon as you tap the shutter, so you don't miss any important moment you want to capture. They have a new note here. An extra picture will be taken when you swipe or hold the shutter. The next one is prioritize focus over speed. I have enabled it as it will make sure the focus on the subject is perfect before it actually takes a shot. The only time I would disable it if I needed the speed, if I found the images are blurry and I needed faster shutter speed. Video recording in photo mode is enabled. If you are taking photos and realize that you also want to take a quick video, just touch and hold the shutter button to record the video. If you want to take multiple selfies or group photos and you are part of the group, time multi-photo options are perfect. Right now it is set to one photo only, so it's not going to take multiple photos. If you select 3, for example, and go with 3 seconds, it will take 3 photos in total, but 3 seconds apart, so you have enough time to change the pose. For those who use a DOF adapter, you can enable it here. It will automatically correct photos flipped by external DOF adapters. It only works in Pro Photo and Pro Video mode. If you own an anamorphic lens such as this one or that one, you don't need to film in a third-party app anymore, as you can enable automatic desqueeze right here. This lens is 1.33 times anamorphic lens. Without desqueezing, it's going to look like this. Once I enable 1.33 times desqueeze, now I can see the correct look. And if you have a 1.55 times anamorphic lens like this one, you can enable that. Auto HDR10 Plus is another new setting. If you enabled HDR setting in advanced video options, you can enable this to step it up to HDR10 Plus. Audio monitoring is extremely important. Once you enable this, as you are filming, you can listen to the sound through Bluetooth, HDMI, or USB-C headphones or speakers. Save videos to external storage is new as well. If you enable this, once you connect external storage to a USB-C port, all videos will be automatically saved there. This works with video, Pro Video, portrait video, slow motion, and hyperlapse mode. If you have camera app open up for a while and you wait, the camera will time out. If you find that this is happening too early for you, you can increase the time here. You can go all the way to 10 minutes. It is useful, for example, when you are taking photos of a wildlife and you are simply waiting to get the perfect shot. If you are filming a long video with one take, such as wedding ceremony or time-lapse, for example, and you have your camera on a tripod, you have the option to enable a dim screen while recording to save a bit of battery life. You can choose to dim after 1 minute of input, 2, 5, and 10 minutes. If you use HDMI connected displays, you can enable clean preview on HDMI displays. This will show the preview of what you're recording without any settings or buttons being displayed on the screen. Let's leave the camera assistant and return to basic camera settings. The privacy section is the last section. Here you can review permissions, reset all settings to default, check camera firmware, and get any help by contacting us. This was S25 Ultra tutorial number 2. Don't forget to subscribe as I have more tutorials coming up, including tips and tricks. Give it a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Don't be shy and leave a comment below, and I'll see you in one of those videos next. Ciao. Ahoj.